Hi, it's Ali here. I hope you're well. Let's get into this week's market commentary. We'll start with the DAX. So the DAX is running nice above its weekly 50 here. In the last week we've had, or a couple of weeks ago, start of the month, we had a nice close above that weekly 50. Price is currently sitting at MR2, monthly resistance 2 pivot. Well, we're nicely above there, so there is a little bit of potential upside here. Where I would recheck in is where you can see I've got that resistance or that alert there. It's not so much a resistance line, it's more of an alert, simply because at that point there, we do have some minor highs just here and MR3. So that would be where we would consider a potential half stake reversal. But where we currently are here, I would be looking to see if we could get some sort of retracement here, and then I would look to move with that trade. So in terms of upside, I think I would review any potential upside once we got to MR3. If we were to close strongly above that and keep going, then I would look for further upside, because the next really the next area that I would look at would be the round number of 1300. If we don't make it all the way up here and don't get too close to MR3, then as I've said, a retracement here to look for possible entries to get long would be something we would consider. And the DAX is in our possible pullback list that goes out to our advanced members at the moment. So definitely potentially one there. So we're keeping a very close eye on the DAX. So here on oil, we had our breakout trade that we got at the start of the month, and that gave us a 4% return when it came in here. So that was a lovely trade. We're sitting, as you can see, we're sitting just around MR2. If I go to the weekly chart and just have a little look at the weekly chart, so you can see oil's trending up as well. So oil's up, DAX is up. Similar scenario, we've had a close at the start of the month above the 50. There are these prior lows just here, which we can almost come into. So we've got these prior lows, but again, it's not a strong area of resistance. So for me, oil could provide further upside. Again, if we were to see price come down. So again, if we were to see price retrace a bit further, there could be some possible upside on oil. So really, DAX and oil both showing steady trends on the daily chart. If we go and have a look at gold, gold has been quite consolidatory. You can see we've got this support zone that we're retesting. Now, interestingly, with gold, if we look at that, we're retesting that level. So we came in once, hit that level there, came in again off the back of a lower high, then another lower high here. So we're looking at what would be a fourth test. I don't include that one, but a fourth test of this support zone here. So it could be that we break that level and have a small retracement down to that level, may even go further. But at the moment, I would be favoring a move to the downside on oil. Now, I'm not going to trade that because that's not technically a setup that I would trade, but I would be favoring slightly. If you were saying to me, okay, Ali, are you more bullish or more bearish on gold? My reply would be, if we break this level, this support zone here, then I would have a very short-term bearish view and would see what price would do once it got down to MS2. So it was in a slightly different position. You can see here on the weekly, it's not made such a clear move. If I go to the daily chart, it's doing a similar pattern on this area of support that it's got here, but it's not hit quite as many times. But again, same idea. We're coming into a level, we're getting lower high. So again, if we were to break that level, then I would be bearish on silver. Slightly stronger view for a potential retracement to go short, but I'm very wary of these lows. So that would have to happen fairly quickly for me to consider a short trade on silver. And reversal territory would be down around the lows of 2018 and 2016. You can only see the 18 ones here, but if I just pull up weekly chart, you'll see it there. We've got the support area there. So if we can break there, then there would be possibly, depending on how the price action is, possible shorts before we get down into this zone here. Okay, I'm going to finish on the S&P simply because myself and our swing traders within TSC, we have got a trade that we're running at the moment. So you can see that the S&P has made almost a full recovery from the dip that we saw at the end of the year, bounce off that weekly 200 here on the futures. We've almost made a full recovery. For me, I'm actually long, but my bearish head would come on, or my I would be looking more or potential reversals if we were to get up to that high. Now, obviously, strategy criteria would have to be in line with the fact that we were there. But if I just pop a resistance line, you can see we've got at the MR2 pivot, we've got the previous highs. If I just go down to the daily, you can see that corresponding there, that area of resistance. I would be looking for shorts in and around that level, so potential reversals if the criteria were met. So if I'm considering shorts and I wasn't already long, then that has to be the potential area where I would get out of my long. And as you can see, the lower blue line, if I just zoom in a little bit, that lower blue line is my target, ever so slightly below the pivot and slightly below the absolute highs from back here. That is my target on this trade. So we had a pullback, and the nice thing about this trade is it's run on nicely. When we got to the previous highs, that was when I moved my stop. So entered the trade at this point here, moved the stop up, and then when we hit my first profit target, which was the MR1 pivot, so that was target 1, I took profit and I moved my stop up to break even. So currently my stop is at break even, which is here. I've taken profit, and if I just pull my, see here, I can pull my broker in, you can see there's the second half of the trade. There's the current P&L with the target just there. So I've already taken half of the trade off the table. You can see I've got one lot running just there. I've got the stop at 235, my open at 235. Now, what I was talking about in our fast track training last night, and what I'll be talking about with our room members tonight who are focused on the swing trades, is, well, I've already preempted it. So what I'm looking for price to do is if we get a positive close today that is above here. So we've come up, I've taken profit, price has come down, we've broken that previous high just here. If we get a positive close today, then what I will do is I will take my stop from break even and move it up to the prior high. So I decided to run this trade because of the clean air you can see here. It's worked out, but what I don't really want to do is leave my stop at break even, but I don't want to move it too close and then get in a situation where it's too close and I get stopped out. Now, obviously I've banked half profits on this. I've already banked just over 650 quid. I'm in it about 850. So if I was to get out of the trade now, then I've made more money than if I just had my simple entry and exit at this point. Now, I'll do a video in the future where I talk a little bit more about moving stops. But as I said, the plan with this trade is if we get a positive close above this high here, so this candle ends up either where it is now or slightly higher, I will take my stop from break even and lock in profits on the second half of the trade there. So I'll move my stop up to this level here, and obviously if we get up to this level here, I will get out of the trade. Okay, so that really wraps it up. Slightly longer than normal because I just wanted to talk a little bit about that trade. Have a safe trading week, and I'll be back in touch very soon.